Be honest with yourself. Do you want to be rich? Most people won't admit this. Instead, they make ridiculous comments about how rich people are unhappy. This is entirely false, and you know this already. If you want to be in shape, financially well off, sharp socially, have an attractive wife and be surrounded by successful people, then there is one thing that is for sure: you won't achieve this by doing the same stuff as everyone around you. The reason for this is simple: the majority of people never achieve any of these things. If your family, your friends, and your teachers are all unsuccessful, you have a blueprint of what not to do. Cut them off and do the opposite. Following the advice of average people will turn you into an average person. This has been a consistent theme if you have followed BTB and this YouTube channel. Do the opposite. In this video, we're going to go through 15 specific examples, from small to large. Let's go. Small examples. Example 1. Tipping at restaurants. If you're new in town and want to find a good date venue, then you should try a few restaurants. Solo. Most people are too insecure to do this, and will likely skip this part. If you're not, and you are willing to do so, here's the trick. Tip before service. Everyone sits around waiting for the check to come, to throw in their double the tax tip, and don't even think about trying to have an image at the restaurant. Do the opposite. Throw down a 40% tip before you even start eating and joke with the waiter that you are making sure he doesn't blow you up when you bring dates in next time. However, keep in mind you shouldn't do this on a waitress, since she will think you are hitting on her. Now after you've done this, the waiter won't know if you're joking, or if you're using self-deprecating humor. You'll show up with a date next time, of course. Example 2. Greasing the bouncer. If you know of a few popular venues that have the type of women you like, then it makes sense to develop an image at the club. This will range from the bouncers to the bartenders to the actual club owner or bar owner. Here's the trick. Grease the bouncer when you leave. Everyone else tries to grease the bouncer $20 just to get into the door, with 2 to 3 other bros, and ruin the club environment inside. Do not do this. If you are new in town, show up solo, and have a good time. Develop rapport with the door guy a couple of times during the night on small breaks, chatting with him and other girls in the area. When the night is winding down, tell him it was great to meet him, and slip him some cash on your way into a cab or Uber. Example 3. Paying cash. If you're running around, trying to pay for bar or dinner tabs with credit cards, you're losing out big time. The biggest error when it comes to nighttime fun is losing momentum. When you pay with credit cards, you're doing just that, stopping the flow. There is nothing worse than running your newly improved game and watching the bartender fiddle around for 10 to 15 minutes trying to find your card mixed in with the masses. Not to mention, you can't even establish that you're a solid tipper. Waiting in the queue for the next round of drinks is a foolish move. Example 4. Maximizing your looks. Most guys think that it is not manly to evaluate your looks. These are the same people you'll see wearing crewneck t-shirts and Air Jordans out in public. Their loss. You don't have to dress to kill every single day of the year, since you may be bogged down with work and staying in for the night. But, if you're going to try and meet people, you need to dress to impress. In addition, it would be smart to learn some basics about photography. Now you don't have to watch 400 videos about this, but do some basic searches on YouTube and find a set of 10 to 15 tips to improve your looks. This can include basic photography, or it can include style of dress. When people see photos of you, it's nice to know that you're looking slightly better due to 30 minutes of basic research. Besides, any girl you date is going to show your photo to her girlfriends and say, "Do you think he's cute?" If you don't believe this, then why is Tinder such a popular dating app? Enough said. Example 5. Showing up early. Under no circumstances should you set up a meeting and show up late. This includes dates, interviews, and meetups with friends. It is common advice that you should make people wait for your amazing presence. This is complete nonsense. If you show up early to any venue, you're going to have the first crack at impressing anyone in sight. Besides, if you're willing to show up late to meet a person, you should just cancel the meeting. You don't think they are important anyway. Small example conclusions. Notice that all the small examples of doing the opposite pertain to basic social skills, dating, and acquaintances. This is because the lowest item on the priority list is acquaintances and random women at the club. That said, it is also the easiest to fix. So, if you don't believe anything on here, try the tricks above, and you'll see they work. 1. Leave a nice tip before service and the waiter will remember you. 2. Tip after you leave the club and the bouncer won't forget you. 3. Pay cash to make friends with the staff. Notice all three of these will cost money, but create valuable contacts. 4. Evaluate your looks every year. And 5. Show up early or find someone else of value. Intermediate examples. Example 1. Impress only those who matter. Most people try to please everyone. That is a recipe for disaster because most people are not worth impressing in the first place. Before you bother trying to build a relationship, do some basic background work and find out if they are worth the time. If they are worth the time, go all in. Example 2. Consistently cut your contacts down. Part of the annual process of elimination is deleting useless contacts from your phone. This is done to prevent unnecessary emotional attachment to old friends. Just because someone has been your friend for 5 to 10 years does not mean they get a free pass to suddenly complain all day and waste your time. Most people believe that history is a good reason to keep a toxic friend. They are dead wrong. As you get older and your friends go through ups and downs, the ones that stand the test of time always ask the right questions to get back on their feet. Average people are going to hear that and think this means, when your friend is down you leave him. No, when your friend is down, you give him access to all the tools you have to get his ducks in a row. If he continues to spam you to borrow money, then you need to reevaluate the friendship. The long-term friends you have, which is 15 years or more, will end up going through bad years. Your job is to find ways to help them based on their unique skill set. Finally, when you hit a rough spot, it is your job to communicate what your skills are, so your friends can help you find a solid career down the line. Example 3. Buy items for yourself only. Most people buy items to impress other people. This is another recipe for disaster. Everyone has interests, like for example sports, cars, clothes, drinking, traveling, etc. However, these interests should be yours and yours only. Go out and try hundreds of activities and find out which ones you actually enjoy. You'll be surprised. The vast majority of people say they don't care about the opinions of other people. But look at what they do and not what they say. If they have to consistently announce to the world that they do not care about the opinions of others, then of course they care. They care a lot. So do the opposite, do the opposite, do the opposite. If you are going to spend some money on a material item, great, buy it for yourself only. If you are going to buy something for a friend, great, don't buy it because you are trying to coax them into something. Just give it to them and move on, because it is what you wanted to do in the first place. As we've stated numerous times in the past, money is to be spent on 1, making more money, or 2, making you happier long term. That is all. Example 4. Find legitimate mentors. Before we continue, note that the word legitimate is extremely important. What is the difference between a legitimate and illegitimate mentor? Easy. He is investing in you. This means he invests real time into your success. This does not mean he should be holding your hand through every single step of a process. Instead, it means that the mentor is actively engaged in your life. To make this even more clear, someone you listen to every single step of the way is not a mentor. That is you, following the directions of someone in front of you. That only has value if you have no working knowledge of the topic. It does not have value long term. Here is an example of a mentor. A person that is constantly trying to improve will eventually hit a decision point. Instead of running with his instinct, he calls up a few trusted mentors to gather ideas on what direction to go in. That is extremely different from someone simply saying do X. In short, everyone else wants a hand-holding experience through everything in life. They want the answers in a step-by-step form at all times. You will never succeed this way. While it is great to have a general map or blueprint, no one is going to actually execute the steps for you. Example 5. Learn in your 20s, earn in your 30s. As you can see from the previous examples above, the intermediate examples surround friends and contacts. Generally, this is what most people in their 20s are trying to improve upon. There is just one problem. Most people believe that partying and chasing girls until 3 in the morning 4 nights a week is how you meet new people. They even go out and try to run game in packs of dudes on the weekend, during the day. This is wrong. Think about the people you meet in these environments, and you'll realize that you're clearly violating rule number 1 by not having a solid screening system. If they are not worth your time, go to the tried and tested move to get rid of them. Smile, nod and agree. After this, delete them from your contacts. Finally, this does not mean that you should become a boring frugal monk. It means that you need to learn to have balance. This could be by going out twice per week. Thursday and Saturday, since Thursday will have younger, more attractive women and Saturday is by far the easiest night to meet women. Again, no need to simply believe this model. Try it yourself and report back. Here is the conclusions from the intermediate examples. As you can see, doing the opposite is going to save you a lot of hassle in life. You're not going to respond to ridiculous drunk messages from that one really cool guy at 2 in the morning every Saturday. You are going to be true to yourself, as cheesy as that sounds. And you are going to find activities you personally enjoy. 1. Only impress solid people, winners in life. 2. Cut down your contacts. If you make a bad choice, you will make several. 3. Buy material items that make you happy, not in any way used to impress the masses. 4. Find a couple of high-quality people that are willing to invest time in you. And 5. Build skills in your 20s, not damaged livers and childish hookup stories. You will have enough fun if you strike a balance. Advanced examples. Example 1. Who you are determines your net worth. That is right. The masses believe that you have to do something in particular to get rich. This is pure nonsense. The best way to improve your net worth is to do the exact opposite of this and focus on you incorporate. We have mentioned you Inc. in the past, and what this really means is you're going to compare and build upon what you had last year. This is the only game you will play. How can you improve where you are, how fit you are, your knowledge base and your ability to succeed? Notice that comparing yourself to other people never comes into this equation. It never should. To reiterate, everyone else believes that network equals net worth. While it is true, this equation will only frustrate you. Why? You will end up complaining that no one is interested in adding you to their special network. Here is what you can do instead. Compare and build upon what you had last year. If you have more information on topics X, Y, and Z, then naturally, you're going to move up the food chain. Similarly, if your contact list from year 1 is not the same as year 2, you did something right. Notice, your network will expand in proportion to how valuable you are as a person. Example 2. Money is time. This is not a typo because again, do the opposite. Everyone else believes that time is money. They misinterpret the phrase to mean the following. If you do activity X, you could have been doing activity Y, which would make you money. That misses the point entirely. Money is time. It means that you should use money to buy people's time. This can mean 1. Hire someone and pay them an hourly wage or annual salary, no ownership. 2. It can mean advertising since you are paying to capture the attention of people. And 3. It can mean paying thousands of dollars to obtain face-to-face interaction with someone you need to meet. Use money to buy people's time. This will make you money if you sell a product or service that is legitimate. Who cares if you spend $60,000 per month in advertising fees if it returns $120,000 in profit? Not you. Example 3. Build rich alliances. Pretty funny, everyone that saw the old BTB blog a couple of years ago believed that it would turn into some resume review service or something. Absolutely not, and it never did. The last thing you would want to do is build a reputation upon an established platform and stab them in the back. That is about the worst business decision to make. Instead, you build up a long-standing relationship and eventually you will both find a way to profit. That is a much smarter long-term model. You should build alliances by delivering value to people you want to link up with later. Example 4. Go for real money. Everyone else tries to shortcut the path to real money. No, real money is not $250,000 per year or some such nonsense. Real money is $1 million or more per year, or at least a one-time payout of $1 million plus. Real money is made when you develop many contacts, adding value to the bottom line of these contacts, over a long period of time, and pull the trigger on an event. Or otherwise by creating a recurring subscription revenue stream. That is the reality because getting rich slowly is hilarious at best. Example 5. Live well below your means. We have talked about the difference between minimalism and frugality in broad strokes, but the point is that living below your means will allow you to take risks in the future. Let's assume that you are financially successful and have a liquid net worth of around $1 million by the time you are 30. That $1 million in liquid cash is going to give you a cash flow of about $50,000 per year. If you are smart, or in other words, if you do the opposite, you will now use all of your extra cash flow to invest aggressively in businesses and higher risk assets. Everyone else would go on a ridiculous spending spree, buying things they don't need, to impress people who don't matter. If you don't believe this, why are people who win the lottery always broke? Now you know. To conclude, the biggest tipping point is as follows: cover your living expenses with investments as fast as possible. The catch-22 of this whole process is that by the time you are able to cover your cash flow with your investments, your entire income stream comes from work you love doing. Another one of those odd nuances in life. Here are the conclusions from the advanced examples. Clear as day, advanced levels of doing the opposite focus on money. 1. Become someone instead of trying to know someone. 2. Use money to buy people's time. 3. Build alliances, don't try to backstab people for a few bucks. 4. Go for real money if you're going to build something. And 5. Live below your means to create options in the future. Elite tip to do the opposite. Let's say you have succeeded at all of the items above. You are going to be in shape, financially well off, sharp socially, and you will have a Rolodex of successful people at your fingertips, ideally attractive women as well. So what is left? The last item left on the list is to continue developing new interests. Yes, that is the cheesiest way to end this video, but it is the reality. Many rich and financially successful people are boring. Seriously, look around. You will see that they have odd social manners and become even more rigid as they age. Make sure that you combat this tendency by continuing to get outside of your comfort zone. If you didn't do something new today, this week or this month, go do it now. Do it today. And that is all for today, folks. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, then make sure to leave a like and subscribe for more content. Furthermore, it is of utmost importance you never forget that banks are zeros.